you by New Denture Cream, the only toothpaste powerful enough for dentures to keep dentures clean, mouth fresh tasting. New Denture Cream, the only toothpaste powerful enough for dentures.
When you want a corner of the world, a place you know is meant to share, you seek the ones who have that word and look to them to guide you there. Hawaiians have been greeting United Airlines passengers to their little corner of the world for 23 years. And since then, United has flown more people to the islands from more cities than any other airline. And that's why we call it our little corner of the world. Come fly the friendly skies to our little corner of the world. We'll open up the way to discover what is there. Come fly the friendly skies of United.
Hawaiian Eye.
Hawaiian Eye. Hey, everybody. Glenn Hausman here with, I don't know what's going on. I got a T-Rex here today. I didn't know I knew we were going to Hawaii, but I didn't realize we were going to go visit Lost World.
Absolutely. You know, Jurassic World and Jurassic Park were filmed over there. How are you, brother?
Happy Friday night. I should say aloha and mahalo. How are you?
Aloha. Better than the best, brother. It's another beautiful day.
That's right. It is another beautiful day. I'm a little bit on the East Coast. You're a little bit on the West Coast. And today we're going to be going all the way over to, where are we going to be going? Over to Hawaii today, right?
Yes, we're going to the beautiful island of Kauai in the Aloha state. And we've got a very good friend joining us momentarily.
Yep.
The one, the only, Mr. Geoff Graf from Hogan Hospitality.
Geoff Graf, welcome. Aloha, how are you? Look at you.
Great.
Look at
it's
you
Aloha
in Kauai.
Friday.
Oh my goodness, how awesome is that, coming all the way from one of the most remote places on the entire earth just to drink with us. And I should say I'm really impressed, Geoff, because it's only 11 in the morning, so hey, you're a big winner.
It's Aloha Friday. You know, we got to do something.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So, Geoff, what hotel are you at? And what's the name of the club that you're in?
Well, I'm at the Kauai Shores Hotel in Kapa'a on the island of Kauai. And I'm sitting in our restaurant here at the hotel, the Lava Lava Beach Club.
Yeah.
And it's a great sunny day. So unfortunately, it's blocking the ocean that's behind me. You're not going to be able to see that. But surf's great. It's summer. You know, it's a nice place to be. Kind of an understatement, but it's a very
Craig, that might go down as the biggest understatement of all time.
It's nice. It's nice.
Geoff, I don't mean to make you jealous, but have you heard about Smithtown? Now, here on Long Island, we've got it all. Like we were saying the other day, we've got strip malls, we've got fast food restaurants, and we have
one of your personal favorites.
What's
7-Eleven.
We definitely have 7-Elevens. But Craig, I'm yearning to be in Kauai and shopping in an ABC store, I got to tell you.
Oh, gosh. You know, can't wait. Got to get back over to my home away from home and visit Geoff's hotel, go see my place over on Maui and spend some time in the water. Absolutely.
So, Geoff, we're sitting here, we're celebrating, we're getting very excited because people are getting out, they're getting out and about again. And I got to tell you, this week was huge for me. I got over my fears of going into places without masks. It was really weird because I was up in New Hampshire the other day and all the regulations are off. So you got to get used to it. And it's just so strange that a year ago, you know, we had to get used to putting things on and now we got to get used to taking things off. But Geoff, everyone's coming back to Hawaii right now. How must it feel for you that people are back and stuff's happening?
It's fabulous. It's a fabulous feeling. You know, flying over here yesterday because I'm based in Honolulu. Walking through Honolulu International Airport, or Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. I need to get that right. It was busy. It was just I never thought I'd like to see the lines again at the TSA. But they're there, and you know, same thing. People don't know how to take their shoes off and all that kind of thing. But it was great to see. Arrived in Lahui yesterday, and again, airport was busy. We've got mainland flights coming in direct here. We've opened up our inter island travel so that it's a lot easier. You don't have to deal with testing and all that kind of stuff. So it's much easier to do. It's busy, and it really is a good feeling to see things come back.
I got to tell you, Jeff, I'm so glad they're not doing any testing anymore, because I don't think I could take the SATs again, especially to be able to go on vacation. I'll be
We're not going to talk about mine.
Hey, Jeff, did you mean shoes or did you mean flip-flop on the airplane?
We don't call them flip-flop. That's a California thing.
Yeah,
we call them slippers. There
you go. But, you know, we're a major feeder to the Hawaiian Islands, so I've got to go with the flip-flops.
So, Jeff, I'm just really excited that we have you on the show today, because I've been dying to pull out this shirt again. This is the second time this year I got to wear this shirt. We did some interviews on No Vacancy Live, so I decided to put on the shirt with the Hawaii interviews. And now I got this one. Usually it's only once a year, but Jeff, I'm doubling my time into my shirt this year with you, because I feel like when you got Hawaii, you got to put on the appropriate Hawaiian gear. But I got to tell you, it doesn't really work anywhere else. Yeah, hey, Dave. D. Dollar, you are on mute, it looks like. No, we cannot hear you.
That is producer David.
I have a gripe.
I'm going to send you a shirt.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
that'd be awesome.
I have a major gripe.
Uh-oh.
So nobody told me we were doing the Hawaiian shirt thing today. Once again, I am left out in the cold, expected to come here and perform under these circumstances. I at least have a nautical shirt on, so it's kind of oceany, boaty, like Newporty. But I just can't. I can't work under these conditions. I need a race.
Well, but if you check the show notes, it's all in there.
Yeah, man. You didn't get the notes?
No, at this point, I'm at the level where I don't need to be told show notes. I'm just told to show up and do what it is. Isn't that the worst thing?
If we're gonna get real here, we didn't even tell you to show up. You just did it on your own. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Dollar, producer extraordinaire.
Now, I have a question for us non-people who have been to Hawaii. I know what an ABC store is in Virginia. Is it the same thing as an ABC store in Hawaii?
No. ABC store is a combination of 7-Eleven, Walgreens,
liquor stores,
all rolled into one, and they're on every corner.
So it's like a Dwayne Reed, basically.
I'm sorry?
It's like a Dwayne Reed.
Dwayne Reed in New York City.
They don't sell prescriptions.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah,
so,
you're lucky.
You got to speak Hawaiian.
I know.
Better than 7-Eleven and great pricing. Even in Wailea.
I don't even own a Hawaiian shirt, to be fair. So even if they had told me beforehand, I wouldn't have been able to wear one regardless.
I think I got the shirt like around the time you were in elementary school. So I've had that I've had this for a while now.
That's pretty good if it still fits.
Yeah, well, I bought it 5 sizes too large because I was planning ahead. So
I know for a fact there's nothing from elementary school that I fit into.
Daniel,
there's not even anything from 15 years ago that I fit into.
Well, actually, I believe I got this on my honeymoon, which was in Hawaii in June of 2002. And boy, were we really, really happy to go to Hawaii for our honeymoon. We wanted to do something super exotic and really far flung, like Tahiti, Bora Bora. But I was planning this thing right after 9/11 happened, so I wanted to stay domestic. And I will tell you, Jeff, best vacation I ever had in my entire life. I've only been to Hawaii 3 times right now, but every time I leave, I'm dreaming already about coming back again. How did you wind up in Hawaii?
Well, I was living in the town I grew up in Southern California, and I came to realize that if I stayed there, I was going to just get in a lot of trouble. And my older brother, I have to credit him, had just been relocated via the Air Force to Hawaii. And one day he called and he said, "Hey, Jeff, I just got off base housing allowance. Come on over. You can live with me for free." I was on a plane.
No doubt.
Love it. Love it. What a great story.
That was 38 years ago. And
Wow.
I've never looked back. Never moved back to the mainland for any period of time. I mean, obviously I get there enough.
Right.
But just never looked back. Got a job at Moose McGillicuddy's, an infamous bar in Waikiki, as a doorman.
Mm-hmm.
And was playing rugby, and eventually my rugby coach decided he didn't want me working in a bar anymore because back then everybody smoked inside the bar, and so he hired me as a houseman at this little boutique hotel on the beach at Diamond Head, where he was the general manager. He was an Irishman, so he worked me to death.
Right.
That was my entry into the hospitality business, and it's been a good thing. I've lived on Molokai. I've lived and managed a hotel on Molokai. I've lived and managed a hotel on Kauai, Oahu, you name it. It's been a good transition.
Wow. And speaking of good transitions, this is not going to be one of them. I know you guys are mixing some drinks over there. I feel like we got to get into the drinks that you're making real quick.
Well,
Did you play your video yet, Glenn?
What video?
Did you play the intro video for the drinks?
That's why we have you, producer David.
Oh, I did. Hey, everybody. It is cocktail time, and today I have some situations, but I wanted to keep it real. I wanted to keep it Hawaii, Jeff. So I went over to the Kona Brewery, popped over there, and got myself a Big Wave Golden Ale. But, Jeff, you're being more serious. You're going to tell us some real good Hawaiian drinks. What are we drinking today, sir?
Well, our drink of the day is the Tahitian Limeade. And I believe you put the ingredients up there. I've got a little cheat sheet here that I'm going to look at. So
please do.
I'm old. I need cheat sheets,
Hey, I mastered doing those in the ninth grade. I get where you're coming from.
Hey, if the president can do it, I can do it. So we've got Malibu coconut rum in here, some Patron lime citron egg, and fresh squeezed limes with coconut water, and it's just an extremely refreshing drink.
Nice.
I love that. Absolutely beautiful. I wish I had one for myself. Craig, you tried to participate, but you had trouble finding the ingredients.
Hey, I'm moving on to the next drink already. You guys are way behind. I've got the
wait, hold on. Empty.
Hey, listen,
coconut Tostito going on here.
It may be 11 a.m. in Hawaii, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and that somewhere is New York City. So,
oh, there
That's
it goes.
okay.
The New York card gets played early. There we go.
Can we just take a second and rewind for a second here? Glenn's great honeymoon story. I'm glad he had a great time. He's talking about all this, don't want to travel too far, don't want to go too crazy because, obviously 9/11 was right before that and wanted to stay domestic. So of all the places Glenn could have gone that are closer domestically to Smithtown, Long Island, he decides to go 3/4 of the way to Japan.
Well, that's right. Well, I mean, it was between that or Montclair, New Jersey, but I decided to go with
Should have done Montclair. Montclair is a very up-and-coming town.
Well, you made
really
the right
was.
choice. Anybody on a honeymoon should honeymoon in Hawaii. I did, and I live in Hawaii.
Well,
so, as a matter of fact, I honeymooned on Kauai.
That is freaking amazing. Because, Jeff, honestly, I was haunted by the fact that I would be doing a cliche because everybody honeymoons in Hawaii, right? So me, Mr. Travel Guy and stuff like that, the last thing I wanted to do was be the same person who did it. So I wanted to do something different fun. But like I said before, I'm so super glad I didn't. Man, you live in one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in the entire world.
Yep.
Certainly the most tropical beautiful. Oh, absolutely incredible.
I've never been.
You're missing out, D-Dollar. You are missing out.
Well,
Oh,
listen, Hawaii, I'm sure, is beautiful. I've heard only great things about it. But Hawaii is very expensive, not just to get to, but to vacation in.
right.
So maybe if somebody named Surfy McSurfface would pay me more, I could go to Hawaii and experience what you guys are talking about.
Don't go there, D-Dollar. I offered you my place for free. Okay.
I was just going to say, California.
Surfy McSurf does not have to pay you. Okay.
I still have to fly out there. There's expensive flights. Here's the real problem. Here's the real problem with me in Hawaii. I hate sitting in one spot for too long. I need to get up and move around on a plane to fly to Florida. Okay. So for those of you that don't know how far Hawaii is from New York, you fly basically to California, which is what, 5 hours or so.
Right.
And then you fly to California again.
Right.
To get to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. So 10 hours on a plane, I don't think it would work for me.
And there's also that huge time difference too, which is fun.
You know what? Melatonin. Then you sleep on the plane. And you'll be the only one wide awake when you get off the plane.
Wouldn't be the first time I've done that.
Melatonin in first class, it solves everything.
Oh, now we're going to first class. You got first class tickets for me too, Craig?
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go.
You could find his tickets over at delta.com. Just type in your credit card information and I'll take care of you right away over there. But I really love Hawaii so much. And Jeff, if you had to summarize one thing, what is your favorite, absolute coolest thing that you like about Hawaii and life in Hawaii? For me, I was amazed by how fresh and incredible every piece of food tastes like, even if it's like Spam. It's amazing. Everything is fresh and wonderful and incredible tasting.
I don't like Spam, just for the record. I won't eat it, not even in musubi.
It's a big Hawaiian thing, right, Spam? Isn't it like a big Hawaiian?
My daughters will eat it. No, I'm not going there.
Yes, you are.
Everybody else has already been all over Spam, so I'm not going there. But to answer your question, Glenn, it's got to be the people, hands down. Secondary to that is the lifestyle, but the lifestyle is made possible by the people. The Aloha spirit, everybody talks about it and so forth, but it's not a fake thing. It's real. Look, 38 years. What can I say? It's the people.
I agree. I think, it's that sense of ohana, which is the Hawaiian word for family. I know with my family, my place over there, we rented from a family friend before I bought it 28 years ago. And it was always about taking my son, my nephew, getting together with the family over there, seeing lifelong friends that captain some of the best dive boats in the islands over there. And I got to tell you, the fresh fish over there is the best. You go to Mama's Fish House over on Maui, it is absolutely the best. It is an amazing place. It is the place that centers me, which is very difficult to do, as Glenn can attest to. It's just amazing. It is the most beautiful place on the planet, and I couldn't agree with you more.
Speaking of food, it's well known that Italian American food does not really jive as well as Italian food, right? Italian cuisine is different than Italian American cuisine in a lot of ways. Right. Same thing with Chinese cuisine. Most cultures are probably the same. Jeff, do you guys really put pineapple on your pizza?
No, we don't.
No. Okay, see, so
no, that is only.
I knew he was going there.
That is only to solve the issue for people that come from the East Coast that request it. We put pineapple on the pizza.
That's up in those are the Bostonians. Those aren't down here in New York.
So Jeff, what are the most annoying Hawaiian cliches that hotel guests subject you guys to?
Oh, good question.
You know, I guess I don't pay attention to it. They just call, again, it's the Aloha spirit, so it just kind of flies by. But if people were to say, you know, something, I think, you know, it's referencing back to the states.
Right.
Because remember, we're the 50th state.
Yeah.
Or asking if you're a native. Well, yeah. You know, and
Native American?
Native
there's a
Hawaiian.
Hawaiian, which is Hawaiian by blood.
Right.
There is, you know, somebody who lives in Hawaii. You know, they may have been born and raised in Hawaii, but that doesn't mean they're a Hawaiian.
Right.
So there are some differences. It all just kind of flies by. You know, people are used to it. But if you were to, you know, ask somebody on the street that was a resident of Hawaii and grew up here, those are some of the things they might mention, but it's not a big deal. You know, again, we expect it from the East Coast.
Yeah, as you're flying right over here, we don't live in Hawaii like you do, Jeff.
We're flying 10 hours, not even leaving the country. We better have some kind of Hawaiian spirit. But listen, I have a quick question for Glenn and Craig. So Amy bought the Grumpy Glenn shirts, so we're going to promote where we can get those in a second. So we said she earned some get out of jail free cards because of that. Do we know how many she earned?
Oh, at least a dozen.
Yeah.
At least a dozen. Okay, so 12. So we're about to take her third away because she says ham and pineapple pizza is awesome.
Oh,
So that is Grumpy Glenn card number 3. Take out of Amy's pile. She has 9 left.
Amy,
you're killing me. You're killing me.
But if anybody out there wants to refill their Grumpy Glenn card stash, you can buy your shirts. Where can we get them? Craig, Glenn.
Red Bubble. The Aloha Craig shop on Red Bubble.
Boutique.
Store, shop, boutique, retail.
Dylan. Dylan, I would not admit that in a public forum, okay? There are some respectable people on this show. Do not do that.
No, there are
Not the host.
people on this show. Can't speak for Jeff.
Not that far, Amy. I'll expand my horizons very far.
I love you.
It looks like you're getting picked apart here on, you know, by the comments. So,
Well, fair enough. I mean, it is true. Dave should suffer. I mean, he loves to dish it out, but he doesn't get it enough. So we gotta give it to him.
That's true. I actually agree with that. I love when someone likes to talk some nonsense to me. So
Right.
send it my way, except about the pineapple pizza, because no matter what you say about pineapple pizza, you're wrong.
Right. Jeff,
you know what? We've got a lot of good pizzas in Hawaii, and I can name a few, but I will admit that one of the favorite go-tos that we go to is a place called Boston's North End Pizza. So, you know,
So
East Coast.
so you're eating second-class pizza. That's fine. I mean, if that makes you happy.
Oh.
How are the bagels, Jeff?
I don't think they have bagels in Hawaii.
Yeah, we've got Costco, you know.
I'm sure they're amazing.
Oh my God.
Let me remind you, we're a state. We have Costco, you know.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
there you go.
so, Jeff, I have a question. It's not really a question, but Daniel says, let's roast some s'mores by the nearest volcano destination. So obviously that's not a thing, but have you personally been to one of the volcanoes? Is that like a tour thing, or how does that work?
I've actually been to the volcano on the Big Island, Kilauea.
That's the best.
In a past life, my company managed a hotel up there, the Volcano House. It's pretty amazing to see at night. But, you know, what was it, 2 years ago maybe now, volcano was going off and
Like crazy.
and everybody was like, oh my God, all the news reports, oh my gosh, you can't go to Hawaii, there's a volcano, it's, you know. And I remember there was a map of the islands that came out from somebody, and it showed all the islands, and then it showed the Big Island, and then it showed where the volcano was, and it showed all the safe areas.
Like everywhere?
Where the volcano was about this big. This is the one area you couldn't go to. So we get a laugh out of the volcano stories that happen and so forth. So, but yeah, it's an amazing thing. I mean, people should go see it. And obviously, all of our islands were created from volcanoes. So the Big Island's the one that just continues to grow.
Yeah. Jeff, I got to tell you, I got to see Kilauea when I was there in my honeymoon, first from a helicopter, only helicopter ride I think I'll ever take in my entire life. But then we got to walk up close to it. And it was really cool because we parked our cars by a street that had been overcome by some of the eruption over there. Because for those of you who know, it's pretty much been going consistently for decades and decades. I think 40-something years or something like this.
Actually, I think 38 years because it started with the year I moved here.
Right. That's pretty amazing, right? So it was really cool. But this is not like when you see on the Discovery Channel big rivers of lava and stuff like that. At least when I was there, the eruption that was happening then, it was kind of like a little bit would ooze out. It would like crust over and then break through and rush out and then stop and break out. And it was so cool because we got to walk. We parked our car by where it had gone over the road. Then we had to walk, and we walked for like 25, 30 minutes to where current flow was happening. And it was so amazing. We could get as close as we wanted to if we could stand the heat. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I think I've ever had in my life. So it was pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see Earth being created, right?
Right.
You know,
yeah, and Jeff, and you know this because it was like we stayed the night before in a hotel that was in a rainforest. So it's like rainforest essentially, or volcanic moonscape destruction. It's like the most insane dichotomy from the most luscious place you could ever imagine going to the most barren place you could ever imagine going, except, D Dollar, it's really cool because like with the way the flows would go, sometimes it would just go around a little area and there'd be like one house in the middle of a giant field of barren destruction volcano stuff. It's really, really wild.
I'll get out there one day.
Yeah, you need to come, you know, I mean.
Well, yeah, I'll ask you another question.
It just takes the, you know, hey, it just takes your credit card.
I'll ask you another question, talking about, you know, potential misconceptions. So everyone knows Hawaii is expensive to visit, right? Forget the flights. We're talking about the actual products on Hawaii being extremely expensive. So my question to you, Jeff, is
Costco.
I'm sure it's expensive, but is it any more expensive than visiting New York City or Miami or Los Angeles or Chicago or any of these other major destination cities that someone may go to versus Hawaii?
Look, I'll tell you, one of the most expensive cities in the U.S. that I've ever visited was New York. You know,
you're welcome.
Cramming a family of four into, you know, a tiny hotel room at the Roosevelt, you know, that's not exactly comfortable. But
it does make up for lack of size by incredibly large cost. So you're fortunate for that.
Yeah. But you know, really, when you think about it, your biggest expense if you're coming, say, from the east, from the west coast, I mean, it's really, it's like you going to Florida. So it's no big deal. And there's you know, such a huge variety of accommodations available in Hawaii.
Right.
That you can fit any budget you want. It's not that, you know, I mean, if you're really, you know, coming for the first time and you're not quite sure what you want to do, go to Waikiki. You know, Oahu's a great island. It's got the same thing that the neighbor islands will have, except for it does have a city. And it's a small city by, you know, the comparative standards, obviously. But, you know, you drive 10 minutes out of Waikiki, right, and you know you're on an island. You know you're driving down the Kalanianaole Highway on the same road along the same cliffs and ocean that you see on the intro to Magnum PI. You're just not in a Ferrari. So
well, Glenn is, but
I'll drive Craig.
Listen, honestly, I didn't do the Ferrari, but I did try growing out a mustache so I could feel like I was important.
You know, I could have sent you a picture of me with a mustache, when I was a doorman because I was trying to do the top.
I would have used it.
So,
I would have used it. You know, it's funny. You know, everybody should go to Oahu at least once. Okay, that is the gathering place. There's Pearl Harbor, there's Honolulu, you know, there is the Kahala area, one of my favorite spots on that island. You've got the North Shore. It goes on. And the diversity on that island, and go University of Hawaii football, love it. You know, it's just an amazing place. Now, I fell in love with that island, and then I ended up going to Maui after spending about 3 weeks over on Oahu and thinking, okay, this is where I want to buy, this is where I want to retire. And then the place that I ended up buying was owned by a friend, and I was 100 yards from this beach, crescent-shaped beach on Maui. But when I got to the airport, it was like, you know, the Kahului airport on Maui at that time was like you were in an old John Wayne movie, The High and the Mighty.
Right.
You know, they cut the chain link fence and pinned it back, and your car rental kiosks were on the outside of that. But when you came off the plane, it was a set of stairs on an old beat-up red Ford pickup truck.
Awesome.
And your bags were on the tarmac. You know, it's like, this is just too cool. I had like one signal between the airport and my house over there. Now I've got 3. So I really can't complain. But I got to tell you, the Hawaiian Islands are just magical. And if you are into scuba diving and any type of water sport, obviously surfing, you know, it
Right.
is Mecca, and you've got to go. It is just amazing. Spend time at one of the Hogan resorts,
Right.
Spend time on the beach, spend time getting to know the culture and the people, and you know, it is just the most amazing state in the Union. It really, truly is.
All right.
Yeah, I highly recommend to people when they're coming on their first trip, you know, visit Oahu for all the reasons that Craig just explained, and then maybe pick one other island and see what you like, and then from there on your next visit you can go to another one. But I try to, you know, I tell them not to try to cram too much into their first visit or any one visit. You know, somebody that tries to do a 4-island visit, you know, if you got 4 weeks, that's great. You'll get an experience. But if you're if you're trying to do it all in 7 days, doesn't work that great.
Too much running around. So what we did, Jeff, after the honeymoon is we went to the Hilton Waikoloa Village for like 4 or 5 days to decompress and do all of that kind of stuff. Then we did our volcano adventure. Then we went over to Maui, and we spent another 5 days over there. We did a lot of nature stuff. We did the road to Hana. We did all sorts of amazing things. We hooked up with the federal government, and the Parks Department had these programs. I hope they still do. And we were able to get on this hike. And we got to go into lands that are off limits to people, typically, unless you do these things with the government. So that was freaking awesome. That was back when I could walk for miles and miles and miles and miles. And it was just like that Jurassic Park type of experience. All of that stuff was just fantastic. Then we wound up going to Honolulu and doing all of that kind of stuff, and Waikiki and all of that. So for me, it was a perfect vacation. You got to do the Hawaiian relaxing and chilling out, and I ate at Chef Roy Yamaguchi's a gajillion times, and I went to a food and wine festival. Then we did the active part of our vacation and all of that kind of stuff, and we rented a convertible and drove all around. It was amazing. And then we did the urban city part of our vacation. So I got to tell you, it was the best of all worlds, and we really got to experience everything amazing that Hawaii had to offer. I can't wait to go back there again.
I didn't hear anything about you going to a luau.
We did go to a luau. I went in 1975 at the Polynesian Resort at Disney World. That was first luau I ever went to. So that was pretty good. I had some chicken wings, a really authentic Hawaiian food, I remember. So that was good. But we did go to a luau there. And Jeff, what I thought was really cool was they had what was it, a Kalua pig? That they do. Maybe you could tell people about that because it is so freaking cool.
Well, I mean, it's great. I've actually been to luau's in backyards where they've done the pig, and you dig it up and so forth. So I mean, but basically, when Craig gives you that week in his place in Maui, you can come up to the Royal Lahaina Resort. And we'll treat you to one of the best luau's you'll have on the island of Maui for sure. The only other one I was going to say that comes close is at our Royal Kona Resort over on the Big Island, and they're just fabulous events. And right now they are busy as all can get. We've been adding space to our Royal Lahaina Resort because everybody wants to go to luau while they're here. I actually went to our own luau and a couple of years ago, and I don't go that often. So,
well, why would you?
This sounds like a no vacancy live.
Sorry, Dave. I talked over you.
This sounds like a potential remote no vacancy live. I'm just saying.
No vacancy live. It'll be Friday Night Audit live. Okay.
Why can't it be both? Why can't it be no vacancy on Thursday and Friday Night Audit on Friday?
Yeah. So the cool thing about the Kalua pig and Didala, it's so cool because I love doing a barbecue over here, and I'm never going to get to the point where I'm going to be able to do whole hog. But it's so awesome that they dig this big ditch. And they put the hot stones and stuff in there, and they put the pig on top of it. Then they bury everything, and they leave it in there for 10, 12 hours or whatever. And then just cook slow and low, and then all of a sudden it's like pulled pork. It is absolutely incredible, really freaking cool. But Jeff, I don't understand what the deal is with poi. How much poi is eaten by people that like poi? And how much is eaten by people that have to try poi? And how much is eaten by people who want to eat poi ironically?
So, I'm not a poi eater. Just getting,
For those Hawaii novices, what is poi? Let's start there.
Poi is made from
vegetable
taro. Yeah. It's like a Hawaiian sweet potato, if you will.
Right. It's called taro root.
Yeah, and it's a staple. My daughters eat poi. They love poi. Now they were born here, so maybe that's the difference.
Probably.
And they eat spam.
Yeah, and they eat spam. Not a lot of it, but they do eat spam. It's an acquired taste. To me, it's kind of like beer. Your first beer, you don't really like it, but you eat it. And if you're growing up in Hawaii and you're going to school, you're going to get poi. And there are different ways to make it taste a little bit better.
Right.
I haven't gotten past the fact that I think it's like wallpaper paste. It just texture doesn't do it for me.
Listen, it's great when you could use it for a meal and to hang all of this stuff in your
absolutely.
Multifaceted food. It's the best.
You let it sit long enough, and it really does get that good paste thing going on. But hey, I'm in the minority here. So, poi is a wonderful thing. It's very nutritious. I do a lot of, not as much as
cauliflower. I don't eat that either.
I eat Brussels sprouts.
Nice.
Nice.
But, I do a lot of, or used to do a lot of outrigger canoe paddling and surf ski racing. We race from Molokai to Oahu. Those are kind of our big races here.
How far is that, dude?
Depending on if you're in an outrigger canoe or a surf ski. Surf ski is the course is 32 miles. Outrigger canoe, it's 42. But a lot of guys eat poi during the race. They get out and they eat poi because it's so nutritious. So.
Wow. So all of that sounds like a whole lot of work and a whole little bit of taste. That does not sound like something I would engage in.
But after you race, it's like anything. One, you get a T-shirt, and that's important. You got to get a T-shirt for whatever you do. I mean, we'll spend $1,000 to be able to get a T-shirt that says we race somewhere.
Right. Listen, and if you want to spend a lot less for a T-shirt, you can get Friday Night Audit T-shirts, of course. The Red Bubble store.
Red Bubble.
No trouble.
Don't I have one in the mail to me for this or something?
I don't even have one, Jeff.
We'll get something. Well, speaking of mail, did you get a package for me, Jeff?
I did. Thank you. I forgot to mention that, and shame on me for not sending you a mahalo card for that.
Yes,
No worries.
Craig, keep your illegal drug sales off there. Would you?
Yeah,
there were no drugs involved.
Family show, Craig.
These were the
It was
Click Connect
legal,
coffee mugs.
So Jeff, we have
an LA bagel, which really sucked.
all of the stuff that we've been talking about. We've apparently sold our good friend Carol Kruglia on a trip to Hawaii. So
Nice.
she's going to plan her trip. So I have a couple questions to this. What's the best month to visit? We're going to do for activities as well as for budget. But also, Jeff, which one of your hotels should she stay at?
Oh,
that's going to put me in trouble with a couple of
All
our
of them.
teams.
All of them.
So,
3 days at each one.
well, for Carol, look, my favorite times of the year, and for some of the reasons that you just suggested, are spring and fall. Since spring's passed, we're going to move on to fall because we want Carol to come back and visit this year. So if I break that down, I would say October, early November are great months to visit. September can be a little warm for some people. So, but by October, it's just perfect. There's not a lot going on.
in September it's like 84 degrees. It's got to cool down to like 82 for the rest of the year.
Yeah, our
No,
ranges
Glenn,
aren't very wide.
It's 81, and October is great. There is nothing like being on Front Street in Maui for Halloween. It is the best. Or what used to be the King's Alley on Oahu in Honolulu for Halloween. Halloween is just the best over there.
I'll tell you,
Followed by St. Patrick's Day.
all right, I like that, but Halloween in Vegas, I've been there a couple of times for that. Now that is freaking fun.
Well,
Yeah, and I
even
think I have a
Halloween-
picture of you for that.
Halloween in Waikiki on Kalakaua Avenue, which is Main Street Central. It can be kind of crazy. I haven't done it for a few years. I think I had hair the last time I was out there, and a mustache, and I believe I was in a caveman suit.
And an assistant named Higgins.
Yeah. But no, I mean, coming up for this year, October would be great.
Yeah.
Even the first couple of weeks of December, depending on where you go, it's kind of a slow period. What we call the lull before the storm hits. And when, again, you mentioned, when is it a little bit more reasonable? Maybe when you're going to find some deals. That's when you're gonna find it. And for Carol's first visit, if you're going to do one island, I'm going to pick Maui, and I'm going to say Royal Lahaina Resort.
Nice.
If you're going to do two, again, if it's your first visit, go to Waikiki. Get that experience down. If it's not, look, Kauai is one of my favorite islands.
I've never been there. I'm dying to go check out Kauai. Because
look behind me, Lava Lava Beach Club.
We can't really see much. It's very bright over there, so I'm super jealous. But like literally, Kauai is where they filmed jungle stuff for Jurassic Park and stuff like that. That giant waterfall that you guys have.
Indiana Jones, the opening, all types of things. And Carol, DM me on LinkedIn, and Jeff and I will get you dialed in on some things to do in the island.
We'll steer you in the right direction, Carol.
So what's it like, Jeff, moving out there? Let's say I'm someone like myself. I just say, you know what, I want to go somewhere different.
Wonderful.
I want to go to Hawaii. Like, what would I need to do to prepare for that move?
Well, I mean, as in move?
Yeah, if I said, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to head over to Newark Airport. I'm flying to Hawaii. I'm moving to Hawaii. I'm done with New York. What would I need to prepare? How would I best get ready to make that move? What do I need to know to come there and try to kind of be a local?
Jeff, how could we help make him leave quickly?
Get rid of all your suits and ties.
Well, look, you're not going to become a local right away. You know, hopefully you're going to become a Malahini, which is what I am. You know, I moved here 38 years ago.
I hear that's a great drink too.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave that alone.
Hey, at least you're not a Howley, so that you've moved up the scale of things. So that's great.
Actually, Dave, though, I mean, seriously, when I came over, I packed pretty much everything I had. I think I brought a bicycle. I brought a set of golf clubs that I still don't use. You know, a water ski. You name it. Didn't bring enough money for sure.
Just one water ski. Couldn't afford the second.
Yeah.
You just said you didn't bring enough money, Glenn.
I know.
Well, yeah, but look, I got a job, and
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you know,
It all worked out. You got a
great
beautiful
woman,
wife and two beautiful
but-
children. Yeah.
Doing pretty good for yourself, I would say.
so,
Now, Chris.
so I'm going to let you in on a secret. When you
Yeah.
become a doorman at a very, very popular bar in Waikiki, you make really good friends with the Samoan doorman that already works there,
Nice.
Yeah.
by the name of Vasa. And
What's
you
his
make
name?
sure that Vasa protects you.
Vasa. Yeah.
Yeah, VASA. He was very large, and I tried to make myself look like a manager more than a doorman. You know, I had a gold pin, so I put it in my pocket, and I was thinking, okay, if I'm wearing a gold pin, people are going to think I'm a manager, and they're not going to hit me.
Right.
Well, it didn't always work out that way, and you know, a few Western scenes sliding across the table with hurricane glasses going everywhere. But luckily, Vasa was there, and he would pick the people up off of me and show them the quick way down the stairs. So you know, that's what you got. You just got to be a little creative. You got to be flexible. You got to remember what you can afford to live in Virginia is going to be a little bit different here in Hawaii. It might be a tad bit smaller than what you're used to, but you're outdoors all the time. So you know, I mean, I live in a 4-bedroom house. But
Wow.
my 4-bedroom house is probably as, you know, big as a 2-bedroom house in Virginia.
Wow,
So,
fascinating.
Not in North Jersey.
or,
Not in Northern Jersey. But cheers to Vasa, by the way.
yes, Vasa. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna move on to my next drink.
Oh,
So-
what do we have here? Is this the same
Yes.
thing?
What's the next
drink?
trick?
I love that you're having
You're gonna
all
like
these
this one.
cocktails. That looks cool.
This is the Skinny Dipper.
I like it. So now, Craig,
I love
you've been to Hawaii, Craig. Have you been to Glenn's house before?
No, Glenn won't let me in the door.
Nope.
Got it. Okay, so
Come on, you guys.
we need to have
dignity.
Jeff then. So Jeff, you have to be the host or the judge, I should say. You need to come over. You need to spend the weekend at the Houseman Pool House, Clubhouse, Smokehouse,
Houseman Resort, Pool Club, and Smokehouse. Jesus, people.
and you have to. And then Glenn, Jeff,
I'm
you
hearing Grumpy Glenn. I'm hearing Grumpy Glenn. Nobody gets that right, Glenn.
you have to tell people, Jeff, is the pig buried in sand better than Glenn smoking whatever he makes on the grill whenever he makes it?
It's different, but it's absolutely Kahlua pig is
I'm happy to
delicious.
give it a shot,
Yeah.
try it out. So, so do I do the same thing over at Craig's house?
Yeah. At Craig's house, all you do is order in pizza. So I don't know.
Just no pineapple. No pineapple.
No pineapple. No pineapple. No.
Oh
We
my
go
God.
out to dinner.
All right, so Michelle.
Yeah.
Michelle MacArthur says, #wellness retreat in Hawaii, 2 weeks, split between Maui, Hana, and which would be the third?
Well, that's
I don't
two.
think you leave
Maui and Hana. You know, Hana's in Maui,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's no, you know, I can't imagine a better place to do a wellness retreat than
Right.
Hana. It's truly a magical place.
I hear another place for a wellness retreat that's awesome is Vegas. So I'm going to be doing my wellness retreat there next week, as a matter of fact.
Okay, you know, I would suggest, you know, it's kind of a toss up between the Big Island and Kauai. The Big Islands, it's
I agree.
they both have that that magical quality in areas of the islands that really, you know, people look for, that are looking for that type of a vacation or a holiday. You know, because I'm on Kauai and I'm at the Kauai Shores Hotel, and the general manager, Jenny, gave me a really nice room last night. So I had a direct view onto the Great Lawn and the ocean. But we do, you know, it's not a wellness retreat, but we offer complimentary yoga every morning. And so this morning I woke up and sat down and started to do some work really early on. And I'm looking out this big picture window, and there are 20 people out there doing their yoga routine.
Wow.
So,
Hey,
I wasn't looking at them for the fact that they were all in yoga pants. Just watching the activity
of them in their yoga pants. I understand. So, Jeff, I was curious. You're so separated from the mainland United States, and we've already established that you are part of this country, regardless of what some people think. What hours do you work every day? Because when I've been over there, I haven't necessarily, you know, for work, I haven't really gotten on full Hawaii time schedule, so I'd be up at like 4 a.m. working and doing that sort of stuff. But what is your day typically like? What time do you start working?
Well, you know, we have our mainland affiliate, Marin Management, and so we manage hotels on the mainland as well. We're in, you know, California, Arizona, Oregon. We're up and down the West Coast. So my day kind of starts early. Typically, it starts around 6:30 a.m. and then that's dealing with.
That's 6:30 a.m. your time or like
my time? Yeah.
Yeah, Hawaii.
And, you know, we deal with the mainland issues that we need to deal with, and so forth, and then kind of rounds out that the afternoon is filled with a mix of mainland and Hawaii business.
Right.
So, but I will tell you, and I can confess to this because people know I do it. When I can, I schedule my lunch hour, which may run into an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours.
5 hours.
Take a break in the middle of the day, and I will go out and I will get on my surf ski, and I'll do 6 to 8 miles out in the ocean.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the problem solving period. That's where you go, you take all the stuff that you got early in the morning and you're like, what am I going to do? I mean, I don't know how to solve this problem. I'm not that smart. I'm not that guy, you know? And then you go out there and you're about 20 minutes into it. Depending on the season, you know, you see a whale or two, you know.
Right. That's awesome.
Alongside you. Yeah. And all of a sudden you go, that's what it is. It's simple. And unlike what we're doing now, drinking in a bar where we're solving all the world's problems, when you do it when you're paddling, you actually remember it when you get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you do.
I know it's up on. I'm sorry, go Craig.
I was going to say, you know, it's funny when I'm over there on vacation, and this happened at more than one company that I work for. Okay, it's like, there you go.
Cheers.
I tell them, it's like, hey, you know, don't, you know, if you're going to call me, I'm on vacation. Okay, if you're going to call me, you got to ask yourself something. Is this an emergency? And if you can't answer that in a millisecond, then it's not. Then the other thing to remember is there's a 2 or 3 hour time difference. So, of course, I'm getting a call at 6 a.m. and I'm going, do you know what time it is? And they're going, no, it's 6. Oh, I thought it was 7. I said, does 7 a.m. sound any better to you when you're on vacation?
Might as well be 2 a.m. at this point.
Yeah. You know, now, when you're working on a deal over there,
right?
Okay, different story.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on the company's dime, and you're available 24/7. But when you're going over there, and Hawaii has always been my place to decompress, to relax, to get everything out of my system, and go scuba diving, lay on the beach, go surfing, go hiking up in the rainforest and everything else. It is just the most magical place and the most diverse place, not only culturally, but in regions and what each island has to offer. and you gotta go. You've got to go. If you do not experience the Hawaiian Islands, you are shortchanging yourself.
So that's
Now,
my next
Glenn
question.
wants to eat spam, though. I know that.
So Jeff, I know we're coming up on time. So last question from me. For anybody visiting Hawaii for the first time, say like myself, what is the one single thing that they must do?
The one single thing on your first trip to Hawaii. The standard answer is going to be, and again, I'm going to qualify this because it depends on what island you go to. But it's going to be, you got to go to a luau. You got to experience that. And luau's, there's a range of them. They've got a lot more real and participatory in a nice way these days. So I'd say go to a luau, but if you're gonna go to Waikiki first, I'm gonna tell everybody too. You know what? Try to go to Pearl Harbor. That's something that I couldn't imagine going to New York now and not visiting the 9/11 memorial.
9/11, exactly.
And you get the same feeling. You get all choked up when you're there. So it's, you got to qualify it a little bit, but the one thing you're going to get on all islands is a good luau. Your first trip, come do that.
So when you talk
water.
When you talk about a luau, Jeff, any tips? Because I've seen a lot of people that just like the second the food's open, they jump up, they eat everything, they're rolling over with their stomach, they ate too much, or they just keep eating, drinking. Yeah. So any tips on how to have a successful luau and what things you should try and any strategies that you've mastered over the years?
Well, my advice is don't sit up at the front table. Don't sit at the very back either, because sit somewhere in the middle so you're not going to get picked out of the audience easily and brought up on stage, unless you really like that kind of thing.
Right.
The other thing is,
I do not.
If you've taken a bus to the luau, some people do. A lot of people, with like at our properties where they're right on property, you're just walking across the property to get there. But if you've taken a bus to the luau, you've got to watch your Mai Tais, because it's not a fun drive back if you've had a lot of Mai Tais.
Like this?
Well, how that feeling when you get home and you've maybe been out longer than you should be, which for me is about past 8 o'clock at night now. You lie down in your bed and the bed starts to spin. Well, that's what it's like when you get on the bus after you've had 12 Mai Tais.
Oh, God.
And it's prettier in your bed than it is on a bus.
So the lesson is drink only 11 Mai Tais. That's good news.
Between 10 and 11,
My favorite thing is we said the one thing you must do when you visit Hawaii for the first time, and Jeff said it's a luau, which is also the one thing that Glenn didn't do when he went out to Hawaii. I did have my honeymoon. I did do that. I thought you said you didn't. Okay, I take it back.
No, I totally did that. It's just it was a been there, done that, so I haven't done it in any subsequent times that I went. But I love doing like stuff out on the water and taking that outrigger canoe and putting a little exercise in. It's freaking great. I absolutely love it. Uh-oh, guys. You know what time it is? Time for time for the best part of the show. Oh my goodness gracious, this hour has flown by. It's time for the Plug-a-Palooza. Jeff, plug away. You have earned it. Be extra shameless if you'd like.
Well, look, I'm a biz dev guy, so I've got to plug our properties both here in Hawaii and on the mainland, and our management services. Now, as Craig knows, we own properties here in Hawaii as well. Our flagship being the Royal Lahaina Resort. 24 acres, Kaanapali oceanfront, one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. It's amazing. Being over here on Kauai, I have to come here once a month at least.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's a tough job. Hey, look, it took me 38 years to get this gig. All right, so but it's something that look, Hogan Hospitality and Marin Management, we think that we do really well. I see this phrase more often now, and I think that I'm pretty sure that we thought of it and put it out there first, but we're very owner centric in our management style. We like to we pride ourselves on working for the owner, not having the owner work for us. And as my boss Gary Hogan would say, look, if it's a contract I wouldn't sign, then we're not going to put it in front of somebody.
Right.
So that's how we approach things. And more shameless promotion, we've actually grown through the pandemic with our mainland management services.
Amazing.
People, they start to look at things and they go, this isn't working out so well for us. And so we were fortunate, and some of them we had started to talk to some people before COVID hit, and so those deals just progressed. But we continued to grow and added some properties on, and I'm pretty sure the owners are really happy with us. It's interesting on the mainland, where the business is currently doing well and where it's not. But most of the mainland properties that are doing well for us right now are those that are more leisure oriented. Yep. Some of the business hotels, the larger ones we have, are still struggling a little bit, but they're coming back. And particularly in California, you've got people that are staying in state to travel and so forth. Those that aren't coming to Hawaii. So it's been great, but we're, the shameless promotion is all about what we do as a management company for our owners. We continuously are trying to grow and look to, as a matter of fact, I'm heading to, I'll just leave it at the Pacific Northwest next week to look at another couple of properties, and we hope to be up there very soon as well.
Do they have and this is not specifically your hotels, Jeff, but just as a general rule, we're
only talking about our hotels.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, then for your hotels, is there all inclusives in Hawaii, or is that not a thing out there? Because that's been a conversation over here, obviously.
There really isn't, and look, I've been in this business long enough that I've actually been managed a property that tried the all-inclusive thing, and it just doesn't work that well. There's too many options in Hawaii for you to do other things. And the hotel we tried it at was a resort over on Molokai, so that's where we could try it. There wasn't a whole lot else to do. We had a golf course, we had a restaurant, there were a few things off site, but and it still didn't work.
Interesting. Why?
Do you think that is? Because of the variety that we have.
Yeah, there's too much going on.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah, it's very unlike like Cancun, for example, where it's just basically resorts. Period. The end.
Yeah, and where maybe you don't want to leave the resort.
And that's what I hope to have on my next vacation when I go to Mexico, where I'll be going Planet Hollywood Resort. And we'll be broadcasting live from there on Friday Night Audit, but it's not my time for the shameless plug. D. Dalla, what about you?
Well, same shameless plugs as I shamelessly plug every week. So, of course, go to No Vacancy Live. Check out the show Monday through Thursday, 12 Eastern. Glenn and Anthony are going to be live from Vegas, covering a couple exciting opening hotels. And a couple.
Is he actually gonna? Is he going? I don't
well.
Hey, let's check the sports book on that.
That's the plan, but make sure you check out those episodes. We have some great remotes coming up, and then of course my new show Times Square Today just finally got it posted to Apple after some challenges on the side, but we're good to go now. So, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Amazon, all the different podcast places. Learn more about Times Square. Another episode coming up soon. We're going to add some history into the show. So anything you want to know about the heart of Midtown, make sure you check out Times Square Today.
Nice.
Excellent. Craig?
Hey, you know what? We're working on the 5th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference. And guess what?
Are you kidding me? Are you really?
We are. And Glenn Hausman and Jeff are both going to be there. So if you
Nice.
want to hear more about Hogan Hospitality and Marin Management, Jeff's going to be there. Now, we're trying to get the Dala out there, but I don't know if he's going to make it or not.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
We've got some great shows coming up on Click Connect. We've got Gary Hogan from Hogan Hospitality. We got Jim Butler from JMBM, and we have also we just dropped an episode with our friend Chris Green at Chesapeake Hospitality. We've got many, many more. So DM us. It's all good. And remember to go to Redbubble for Grumpy Glenn stuff. So.
The Aloha Craig store, of course. And look, I cannot wait to get to Las Vegas next week. We're going to be talking to the owner of the Virgin Las Vegas, who goes by the name Boz. How can that not be amazing? On Tuesday, we're not going to be doing a live show, but I'm going to be getting pre-recorded interviews with the executives over at Resorts World, getting a sneak peek of what that place looks like. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking to the downtown Fremont Street people, Maverick Helicopters, and a couple of other folks that are all servicing the entertainment side of Las Vegas. Then on Thursday, I will be at the Resorts World opening. And I'm super stoked, Craig. You know why? Because this is so exciting, because I've been to the opening of Resorts World, Cosmopolitan, Palazzo, Encore, City Center. So this is going to be freaking amazing. I can't wait for this. Yeah.
But I'm waiting for you to put on a leather jacket and aviators with Maverick Helicopter. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna be doing a partnership in terms for that new what was the name of that Tom Cruise flying movie? God damn it, that's coming out. Top Gun 2. Yeah, we'll be doing a special promotion for Top Gun 2. Okay. I'm sure about that. Because we're so involved. All right, everybody, this has been so much fun. I want to
thank our number one fan, Amy, for being here as always. We missed you, Suzanne. Didn't see you on the feed today, but you're in our heart.
Suzanne is driving down the East Coast right now, so
I know.
I got an update from her earlier. She sent me pictures from south of the border, the tourist trap just south of North Carolina, the very tippy top of South Carolina. So that was fun. She sent me pictures just for me because I love it. Carol, have an amazing weekend. As a matter of fact,
Carol
has an amazing weekend. And
aloha, Amy. Aloha, Jeff.
Aloha. Happy Aloha Friday.
See you all next week. Be good.
Thanks, guys.
Boom. We're out.